Hello everyone. Now I'm going to tell you something very interesting that happened in the real life with me quite often, but I'm going to tell you and share with you one of that event that I have gone through. So the name for this class is, can you guess? Well, I assume that you have read the title already. Okay. So the name is what and how do you represent with or without context? That's interesting, right? With context, it seems easier, sometimes not, depending upon the context. And without context, well, what do I say? I have seen some people's, and you might have observed either in yourself or in your surrounding or your friends or just any place, that some peoples are very confident when they are prepared or when they are getting time to get prepared. But sometimes if randomly someone says that please express your ideas on that, either you are sitting in the boardroom with intellectual people where you are also very intellectual, or you are a student, or you are someone sitting in a friends, a group, or in audience. Generally in going to larger audiences, not in this case, because generally going in the larger audience, we prepare our things. So what actually happens? What do we start thinking? We don't have any context, so what do I going to say? There is nothing that I can say. That thing, I'm going to remove that thing in you in this one, in next 5 to 6 minutes. Yes, in next 5 to 6 minutes, we are going to remove ourselves and make ourselves very confident. We can start with anything and can bring it to a beautiful conversation and conclusion for everyone who is listening to us in a hypnotic manner, right? We are in the hypnotic section, so we will hypnotize everyone. Let's begin. So let me introduce you the not context thing first. Like when you don't have any context, you are just called upon and being said that please speak 2 words. Well, it's never been just 2 words. Otherwise, I would to have said hello and thank you. 2 words, that's over, right? But you cannot practically go with that. So what actually happened one time is, I was called by my team. She was calling one another student. It was our 2nd or 3rd day in our engineering college. So it was a period where the team came to get introduced with all of us, and she was giving us an opportunity to speak for 2 minutes. But on what? No one knows that. Few of the kids, actually my classmates, start singing a song, someone said a poem and all that such things. They have presented their talents, and I was thinking that what do I represent? Well, it was questioning me. So my number finally came. I was being called, Om, please come. And when I walked from my bench in front of the classroom of 70 or 80 people, and in front of my dean itself, and all the teachers were looking from my ID card. That was quite something anyone can get nervous or something like that. Okay. So what I actually did when I walked to that point, even through that time, I do not know that what I'm going to speak. I took a deep breath, as usual, and I became silent for 3 to 4 minutes, seconds, not minutes, 3 to 4 seconds, and then I started like this. I'm going to present a few of the lines from that, and that will going to help you to make yourself into something very much different from right now. So I said, hello everyone, my name is Om Kareshwar, and I'm going to represent something that we all know about already, but I'm going to represent my opinion on that. The topic that I'm going to represent is 0. And my opinion, 0 is not a number. 0 is not a number is surprising for so many of the people. Like we have always have studied that in the whole number, 0 is the first number. So I'm not here to going into technical details about that. I'm going to tell you about my opinion, that what I have learned from that, And why I'm saying 0 is not a number, in my opinion, I think 0 is an idea that is given by Aryabhat, actually Brahmagupta, and Aryabhat used that. We can check on that. That's the part of the history. But no one asked the question that who discovered the number 1, who discovered number 3, 2, 7, 8, or any number. We don't ask that. Why we only ask for who discovered 0? There is a point. 0 is not a number. 0 is a concept of cyclic nature. That's what its shape is. Just like O or 0, something like that. So the 0 thing that we represent, like you can see my hand going like this, it is cyclic in nature. You can go anti-clockwise or just clockwise. It's dependent upon us. Our eyeballs are in the shape of the circle. Most of the celestial bodies are in the shape of 0 or the cyclic in nature. Without 0, we will have to discover so many of the symbols. We have to discover after 9. For 10, we have to discover another symbol. These days, we just remember 1 and 0. That's it. And when we say 1 and 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 11, 12, 13, that we say it as like that, becomes a very easy and convenient thing for us. 0 is a very powerful concept in the meditation yoga either. It is being called as a state where you are not thinking. Sometimes we sleep and we wake up. There is nothing in between, no dreams I mean. There is no dream or nothing. Nothing is in between. So what is it like? Sometimes we close our eyes and time just flicks up. That is the 0. 0 itself is having no meaning, but no meaning itself is creating the meaning. So that's why in my opinion 0 is not just a number. Yes, we are using it a number, of course, but we have discovered any number in that place. But we have discovered this concept, and that's why we are naming it the 0. So that's how I'm thinking that it's all about the 0. Well, the original speech that I gave, not the speech, it was not prepared. I just randomly gave it that. It was 4 or 5 minutes, and I added so many ideas and opinions related to history, science, philosophy, psychiatry, and spirituality. All this kind of the aspect that I know, I understand in my experience, and I added that it's in my experience, and few things are not in my experience. So I discovered all that thing, and then I just finally said, that's what I think about the 0, and thank you. In that entire class, applause for me. They just hooted a little bit. Well, that was a little different, weird thing, I could say. And my dean came near me and clapped for me and said that you gave a wonderful speech, you can become a orator or something. I was thinking like, okay, just 5 minutes back I do not know even that what I mean to say. I just started. Now you might be thinking that 0 might have, I might have practiced about the 0. Well, you can start with anything. Let me give you a very perfect example. For a writer, for a philosopher, or for a true scientist, nothing is non-living. Nothing, I mean with nothing. I'm consciously saying that nothing is non-living. Tables, chair, people, plants, wind, air, water, everything is living for you. And when everything is living with you, just start the conversation with any of the thing and it become a wonderful conversation. That is the perfect way that I have found. And that is what I want to represent to you. You can start with the colors, you can start with wind, you can start with the situation that this is a kind of situation that I am not understanding my mind, that I have the ideas and I am not able to represent. So I am reciting about my mind itself. Don't think too much, because everyone knows that you have not prepared. Or at least you know that you are not prepared. So whatever you are saying, just don't prepare for that or think that it's right or wrong or all the things. Just try to go simply without using anyone's mask. Because when you prepare, we sometimes wear the mask or at least modify our words, statements, and all that such things. We get the time for the practice in those things. But in the random context, whatever you see, whatever you are feeling, let it go and let it flow. When you let it go and let it flow, you can start mixing up, matching up all the ideas. And the most important thing our mind do is when you start something anyway, and you are just adding the words and words and words and words and words, you might even discover about your mind that your mind is excellent story maker. That's how we see the dreams. So if you are thinking or trying to think about something or some data, some numbers, something like that, it might becomes a little difficult because you are not prepared for that. So you are forcing your mind in that case. But if you are not forcing your mind and just simply going, your subconscious mind will definitely going to support you, and that become that powerful and convincing for all the people because of its simplistic nature that you are presenting and coming out from directly your subconscious mind, that it is able to attract everyone's attention. And when everyone is attentive and listening to you very carefully and you are presenting your ideas in that such way, it is the hypnotic effect. It is producing the hypnotic effect for everyone because you are adding up the emotions. You are not just thinking, you are just flowing with that. And if your flow is good, everyone will start flowing with that. Like once my professor asked randomly that say something. There was no context in that, so I cooked up a poem. Actually, it was a difficult one, but the poem was footwear, life of a footwear, that we call sandals and shoes sometimes. Life of a footwear. Life of a footwear. I am your footwear, always been in your feet. Good time, bad time, I have all seen. Harsh road, tough road, soft road, everything. I try to protect you every possible scene. I stayed with you every possible time. Whenever you used me, I never declined. And the poem goes on and on and on. And at the last I said in this poem that today is the day of my retirement and I am still with you till you find a thing to replace me with a better footwear. So I am a footwear and this is my life. Well, I am not using any kind of the words or anything. I was not having a context. I just saw beautiful shoes of a girl who is sitting right in front of me. So it was visible. I just saw and I just started. That's it. I became the footwear for that moment. So becoming the subject yourself, that is the thing. And you will produce the wonderful things. Trust me, try that. Try to talk with the chair, table, plants, people, and all that cases. Sometimes try to talk with your own self, like mirror talking or imagination, or just see yourself talking in your imagination. That becomes very powerful. And now, when there is a context, let's talk about when we have a context. So, in that case, become a detective in nature. You have to detect, you have to investigate. For the perfect investigation, you have to start with a set of the questions. Understanding, questioning, and not taking any side. Yes, not taking any side is very important to understand both the extremes. And living and understanding all their opinions, ideas, and critically evaluate those ideas, and then form yourself on that basis. What your mind is telling you is actually the reflection of the environment, of the scene, of the imagination, of what you have gone through. It's all about our own experience. So when you are presenting your own experience, that is the wonderful thing that you can represent, because that is the most convincing thing. You don't have to seek for something else. You can surely prepare the data, you can surely prepare the coded words, you can surely prepare the sites, but you will still be fair in your judgment. because you have your own opinion. You are not masking something that we have talked earlier. You wear yourself before presenting the ideas. When you have a context, research on that. No matter if you have small time or big time, try to read few things, try to talk with people of both the extremes if you have that kind of thing, and then make your own opinion. And if you are not able to get to the opinion, ask the questions. So which kind of the questions you can ask? Why do you think it's right? Or someone, why do you think it's wrong? You will have tremendous things, and your mind will be perfectly able to make the opinions on that both basis. Sometimes it becomes a confusing thing either if you are doing both the things at the same time. So I definitely try to recommend that live one thing first, then take a pause, and then second thing, because that will help your mind to grasp the ideology of one kind and then grasp the ideology of another kind, and brief pause will give you a moment to switch, because if you are context switching too much too frequently, it becomes difficult. So that is the thing. Watching from outside of the box is the idea here. So we have gone through so far, and in the next one we are going to sum it all up. So see you in the wrapping section and the final one. Take care and God bless.